All right, maybe we can get started. So, this Saturday we were doing this reading from Spiritual Anatomy on the topic of liberation. So, what is liberation? It's some state of freedom, you can call it, right? So, the idea of this liberation sort of is at two levels. One is after death and before death. So a lot of people think that they lose interest in everything if they get liberated before death. So somehow this fear of getting liberated while one is alive uh, is sort of, what should I say, it's not so foreign, at least to the Indian psyche, but it is mostly avoided willfully. And so it is something to be attained after death. But nothing can be attained after death unless it is attained before. But what is this freedom, or the word liberation is nothing but freedom. Freedom from what? So people kind of misunderstood that in order to be in a state of liberation, they have to lose all the attachments. The first attachment is to the body, and the second to all the external affairs, and third to all relationships, whether it's husband, spouse, children, friends, things like that. So that's how a non-attachment is thought out to be. And then the final is only inclined towards this spiritual destiny and nothing else. It sounds very, stoic. To me, at least it sounds very stoic. Where you are trying to lose all the fun, desires, cherishment in life. But it is not true. Truly speaking, liberation, in my idea, is a simple state of being available. A state of being available. And let me explain what it means. For example, or not for example, in life, there's too much indulgement. In this indulgement, what's happening is we are losing the real essence or the idea of engaging with this world. So in any relationship, there is too much indulgement than necessary. I would share this. I was reading while I was in India, I was reading this Khalil Gibran. He was talking about a relationship between a wife and husband. When I read it, it's basically saying each one is an independent entity, each one has their own ideas. So the more freedom is there in their relationship, the more connected they are. That means the husband is not indulging into the wife's affairs, whatever they may be, and the wife is not indulging into the husband's affairs, whatever they may be. But at the same time, they are looking for each other, they are looking after each other. At the same time, there is a lot of freedom, there is a lot of space. Each one is having their own space. So that is the kind of relationship. There is no indulgence of either the wife or the husband. Same thing, we get indulged even in our work so much that we lose track of even the goals at work. Lot of times who are workaholic are not really respected at work. Reason, there is indulgence. In their indulgence, there is the essential point or essential deliverable they are supposed to deliver. So wherever there is an indulgement, they miss the essence. They miss the real outcome of that engagement. And that's why the too much indulgence does not allow them to see what is necessary, what is unnecessary. That means in that indulgement they are not free. So this indulgence in the scriptures, they called it attachment. So attachment is equal to indulgence. Non-attachment is where you are still engaged, but both are free. So in that you become a visionary. You see the things from a higher perspective. In indulgence, you get too grounded. You basically go into the ground. That's why you don't see anything except the hole you dug in. Right? So the true state of liberation is where there is no indulgence. That means you are free. That means you are available to whatever the thing you need to attend to. Suppose you need to attend to, if you're a doctor, you need to attend to a patient. You're attending, yet you're available. Same thing in spirituality. To grow spiritually, one of the foremost requirement is this availability. If I am indulged in my daily affairs, in the sense work, whatever that is, right? Even when the transmission is received, there are certain times where there is a profound transmission just comes in. You feel it only when you are available. This unfolding, so spiritual life is all about it's unfolding this inner essence, unfoldment of the inner essence. If I am not available, I cannot see that unfoldment. When I cannot see, when I cannot witness it, it is lost forever. So these are the opportunities, especially for a spiritual seeker, must become more and more available and less indulged in life. That doesn't mean we are avoiding anything in life. Spiritual life means it's all inclusive. There is no exclusions in spiritual life. But yet I must be available with all the inclusions. Means I am not getting overindulged in anything I am doing. Even the spiritual work, I should not be overindulged. Then only I am available. Then only I am free. If I see, I am an ardent seeker of spirituality and I'm only frantically reading all the literature, meditating all the time, acting crazy, I don't even step foot into the realms of spirituality. I might delude myself being very spiritual, but I am not. So that's why spiritual life is all balance life, all harmony. Even there is harmony in any disharmony. In suffering also there is some harmony. So in suffering I am available, in happiness I am available, in enjoyment I am available. Then only I can say I am spiritually ready. So that's the state of liberation. That's why Babuji said, people thought liberation is the final attainment. Moksha is the final attainment according to the Indian scriptures. But Babuji said it is only a first step in the spiritual ladder. It's only the first rung. Because that's when I become available to climb that ladder. So think about it and make yourself available, especially when you are sitting for meditation. Become more available. Then only you can see how this meditation is unfolding for you. Okay, so that's all I have to say. If you have any comments, questions. This is something I thought about, this availability while I am in Kanha and attending to my mother while she was sick. So if no comments, we can get into meditation.
As I told you before, I think my meditations have kind of changed. I don't think I was forcing anything, but it just kind of happens. I mean, is that how it's supposed to be? Things just kind of all of a sudden just happen.
Yes. Meditation is a very natural process. So, meditation is nothing but waiting for things to unfold. So, in my waiting, I should be available. Again, the same point aspect comes in. So, when I am available, I can feel and see things as they are happening in meditation.
But what changed that all of a sudden I'm more accepting that this kind of just happens? Whereas Todd, he says, oh, someone could do this in just a few months.
A few months.
Unless it's just marketing.
Few months or few lifetimes, it really doesn't matter in the infinite space and time. So that's why this transmigratory life, it could take sometimes lifetimes to even to go to the first step. And it can happen in next 5 minutes. It's all about the attitude with which we sit. If I'm looking for it, it does not happen. If I'm just waiting with a neutral mind, a lot of things will happen. But yet, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Because now we are ready for the next phase, next aspect of life, next aspect of spirituality. That's why it's infinity. I can never claim that I have traveled so much in this journey. So even the previous master, Chariji, almost at the fag end of his life, this I've heard myself. It's not somebody told me. He said, I am still in the kindergarten of spirituality, at his fag end of his life. After working all his life as a spiritual guide, as a spiritual practitioner, I wonder why he made that statement, and then later I realized this journey is so vast. You can never say I am there. That's why it takes a lot of courage to continue on this journey, because we are accustomed to very tangible things. The spiritual life is all intangible, subtle, unknown. So we have to kind of take a big leap of faith and just jump into that abyss, infinite abyss. And then it happens.
Okay. So essentially, it's goalless.
Yes, it is.
You just keep walking and just keep walking and keep walking.
Yes. So it appears as if, see, when I say I have a goal, what is that goal? It's my own imaginary state. It is no real purpose or meaning to it. When the one goal itself becomes infinite, then I am not looking for an end. When I am not looking for an end, wherever you are, it feels like an end. That's the beauty. Right? So it's like think of an infinite circle, which is the end point in the infinite circle. Wherever you are is an end point. So that's the beauty here. One must see that infinite beauty.
So did Cliff get the answer to the question that how did these things happen? Maybe that's a homework. We just ponder over it and we talk about it next Tuesday.
Sure.
Well, I don't.
Cliff,
I don't know if I could even answer that. It just happens.
I'll just leave. There is a book. I think you may find an answer in that, Designing Destiny.
Yeah.
So that's written by Daji. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's get into meditation.